much for being part of our dynamic community. Let us know in the comments where you're visiting from, and also let's keep this as interactive as possible, so feel free to ask your questions throughout this presentation. Also, if you'd like to subscribe, go ahead and do so today and with the subscribe button, and smash that bell so you can get all the most latest updates when it comes to Odoo's webinars and online content. So what we want to do today is, first of all, thank our sponsor, Sakya, who's here, located in Austin, Texas. They will be guiding us through what they have done in the marketing space, and also a case study from one of their customers. What are we going to be actually learning today? Well, we're going to learn a little bit more about Odoo, who we are as a company. We're also going to take a look at our value proposition and what sets us apart from a market that can sometimes be pretty crowded. We're then going to look at the case study in greater detail, as well as seeing how Odoo's workflows with our integrated applications work together in a manufacturing context. We're then going to have a little bit of a conversation with Sakya to get a better understanding of their value proposition and what they're doing in the marketplace. And then finally, we're going to open it up for you to ask questions right here with Sakya and ourselves in order to keep this conversation going. All right. So without further ado, let's get started. If you haven't heard of Odoo before, all Odoo is an all-in-one software similar to an ERP. It's going to give you the same level of traceability and accountability that you would get from some of those legacy softwares that we all know. So it's easy to use, it's user-friendly, it's affordable, but most importantly, it's completely integrated. So that's us in a nutshell. Now, a little bit more about Odoo and who we are. We are growing tremendously. We have over 2,200 employees all around the world with 15 global offices. We have an office in every single continent except Antarctica, because as you and I both know, penguins do not need software. And we're more than 175 countries. And what we want to focus here is the fact that our community is growing exponentially. Odoo is truly a dynamic global company, helping all of our customers, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and global companies be more efficient with their time. Now that we know a little bit more about Odoo, in a nutshell, who we are, let's take a closer look at our value proposition and where we sit in the marketplace. Now, first of all, efficiency is a paramount when it comes to manufacturing, right? So ask yourself, what is most important to you when it comes to running a business efficiently? Now, is it more about establishing workflows or processes? Or is it more about having specialized software for every part of your business? Ultimately, is it having full traceability across your entire organization? These are just some of the questions that relate to efficiency, and I'm sure that you have many more that have crossed your minds. But today we want to explore how Odoo is truly the solution for you when it comes to efficiency. And it's not only completely integrated, but it's easy to use, and of course it's affordable. However, now that we know a little bit more about Odoo, let's see exactly what's in the system. What do we already know? And it starts with the legacy systems. But before we go there, I want to highlight the 4 main pillars that Odoo is truly strong in. Number 1, like I said earlier, it's fully integrated. All of our applications work in concert with each other, allowing for that traceability to be seamless. Number 2 pillar, it's flexible. It's flexible for your manufacturing flows. It's flexible for your industry. And that level of flexibility is something that is one of our key value proposition elements. Number 3, it's intuitive. Odoo is so incredibly intuitive and easy to use. We're going to demonstrate that in our demonstration today, but it's truly what sets us apart. And number 4, it's full featured. Odoo not only can take care of your manufacturing needs within your organization, it also can support your HR needs, marketing, sales, and more. All right, so now that we know what Odoo is, let's see how it stacks up a little bit with our various competitors. And number one, like these legacy softwares that are ERPs, they were created with the CEO in mind. They are on premise, they are difficult to integrate, they are complicated to learn and to implement, but more importantly, they're out of the reach for many companies. They're just too expensive. A result in the market with these legacy systems was the rise of the single-use applications. These applications are on the cloud, they're easy to use, and they're pretty much affordable. However, you need a couple of them just to manage your business. Odoo is the perfect bridge between the full-featured all-in-one solutions that the legacy ERPs offer, but also at the ease of use, flexibility, and price point that the single-use applications offer. Now, talking about these single-use applications, the average company uses around 14 different applications just to manage their business. And that seems like a lot, but if you think about it, it's pretty much the standard today, and it's a headache that many of us face. Now, I don't know if you've seen this diagram before, but this is a picture that is a headache for many business owners. It's a spaghetti bowl of different applications connected by API connectors. There's no singular source of truth here. Pulling and pushing data can become cumbersome, and having to train employees on many different applications is also not the most efficient way to run your company. So what is an adequate solution? Well, I will say that Odoo is the all-in-one solution, eliminating the need to having disparate or siloed applications with one singular solution. All of these applications are natively integrated, and now you have a singular source of truth, eliminating all the barriers that you had before, having a complete line between your customers and your company. So now that we know a little bit more about Odoo, who we are, and our value proposition and what sets us apart, let's take a look at the case study at hand. And for this, I'd like to invite my good friend, Camilo Puentes, who is here with us. And Camilo, thanks for being with us today. Thank you so much.
Hi, Justy. How are you? Thank you for inviting me, and this is great to having you all guys here.
It's great seeing you, especially for this little fun fact. Camilo and I used to work together right here at the San Francisco Odoo office, and it's just always nice to see a fellow Odooer being in the community, being in the ecosystem, and truly helping our customers on. So it's a pleasure to see you here.
Thank you, Jesse. Yeah.
All right, so
Pleasure
let's
to
take a
be
look
here.
at your customer manufacturing and lots of complexities, lots of sophisticated workflows here. So let's take a closer look at the case study with Inomed. So Inomed is a medical device manufacturer, and they are respected in their field. They're well known, and they develop quality orthopedics and neurosurgery medical devices. As you know, medical devices are highly, highly specialized. They are very sophisticated with their requirements and their needs. Um, can you tell us a little bit more about Inomed, Camilo?
Yeah, sure, Justy. So they are also highly regulated by the Health Bureau. So most of the quality controls need to be taking place and record. So Inomed, mostly they have 60 employees, 40 users in the database, around 2,200 SKUs, and 3,000 MOs they are launching so far. And we configure some of the quality points in the system for almost 950 quality control points.
Wow.
And so far, they have taken 400,000 quality control measurements and different things that they have taken in the quality control measurement system.
Okay, so we're talking about something pretty sophisticated here when it comes to manufacturing and the requirements that the company had. Let's take a closer look now to see the challenges that they faced and what the Odoo solution looked like. So let's go ahead with there's a set of 4 different pain points we're going to discuss. First, there was unsynchronized and siloed data, right? So it was, and this is something that affects many companies today, not only manufacturing, but for manufacturing specifically, everything was housed in an Excel and Word files. And naturally, as humans do, it was prone to error. What was the result, Camilo? What did you do?
So basically, they have different challenges. One of them was having different Excel spreadsheets. They also have the purchase department in a spreadsheet, and they will have to go through all these different forms in order to manufacture the devices. So what we did is basically integrate all these business processes in one single solution. So from purchases, sales, and manufacturing inventory, all in one integration, so they can um, streamline all their operations.
Great. And that's again talking about the value proposition that Odoo offers is streamlining everything in, all in one. Next, there, because it was a paper-based, everything was manually recorded. Now,
Right.
you and I both know that this may not be the most efficient way to manage something so sophisticated like a medical device manufacturing production, right? So everything, it hindered. There was no automation. There was it wasn't viable for data analysis and reporting. So that's naturally an issue. What were you able
Right.
to do?
Basically, what we did is taking all these Excel spreadsheet and forms and accommodate that to Odoo and tailor those needs into Odoo out of the box functionalities. So what they used to do is they basically record all their production and quality control points on the paper, and they will have to go through the plant, recording all these inputs and register the measurements for the quality points. And what we did is to configure all these different data and master data into the data sheet, into the production application. So now they're able to register that on time in real time. They will have to be able to control their inventory, their raw material, and they reduce the by almost 70% saving time launching a manufacturing order, because before it was taking a lot of time for them to go through different spreadsheets, and now they just launch the manufacturing order in minutes. So that's a big step for them.
That's huge. That's absolutely massive. And this level of time savings, I'm sure, is better spent in product development, sales, and so many other business critical functions. So that's fantastic. Let's take a look at two other pain points that InnoMed had and see how Sakya was able to resolve them. All right. So there's a pain point when it comes to business growth, and it wasn't scalable. First of all, why was it not scalable? Was it because of the processes that they were doing? Everything was manual.
Right. And also because they were growing pretty fast. So
Mm-hmm.
the number of the manufacturing orders were growing as well. So what we were able to reduce the times to launch the manufacturing order, and also help them to plan accordingly the production. Before they didn't couldn't plan very well. They didn't know how the production center was busy.
Mm-hmm.
So all these different things were able to plan accordingly, and that helped them also to allocate the resources better.
Okay,
And also the supervisors were able to not only go to the plant floor but also supervise the production from your palm of your hand, from your desktop or from your cell phone.
got
So
it,
that's also a huge step for them.
got it. And so basically, what you were able to do then is you streamlined operations, right? How were you able to streamline everything?
Well, we took all the different processes we understand, and went to the production plant to understand all the business processes, how they were operating, how they were using things before. And with that knowledge, what we did is taking all that knowledge and putting it into Odoo out of the box functionalities.
Mm.
So really taking the time to go and visit the plant, and also understanding the business processes help us a lot to streamline and allocate and better allocate the resources to launch the manufacturing.
And because of that resource allocation, obviously they were able to scale and grow at a much more efficient manner. Um,
Exactly, without hiring additional employees.
exactly.
Just with Odoo, they were able to just scale.
That's great. And again, calling back to our value proposition, this is one of the key elements here. Now, we're going to be looking at quality control in this demonstration. Naturally, quality is paramount when it comes to a medical device. And what was their issue when it came to that? They needed supervisors to be physically at the plant since data was not digitally accessible. So you were using resources of a physical person there to ensure that everything was done properly and that it stood up to the highest control measures, I'm sure. What were you
Right.
able to offer with Odoo?
Well, basically, the quality control also, well, I just said, takes a lot of resources, employee resources, and also recording in a paper base was taking a lot of time for them as well.
Mm,
So by integrating all these processes in Odoo, they were able to register all this data in real time
hmm
while they were manufacturing. So now they have tablets. Before they would just have a paper. Now they have tablets and they can register all these quality points throughout the production route. So that's also a huge step for them because sometimes they are regulated or not, they are regulated by the health bureau. So they have to record all these different um, measurements
hmm
and they have to store them for more than 5 years. So this helped them a lot to keep those records in place and they don't have to consume any paper.
So basically, Camilo, what you're telling me is that you took Inomed from the early 20th century in terms of their manufacturing processes to the 21st century. You've
Right.
helped digitize their production, which has increased
The
their
whole
efficiency
production system.
and the whole production
Correct.
system.
That's
Okay,
good.
great.
Yeah.
Well, now that we understand the actual pain points and the challenges and the solutions with Inomed, let's take a closer look at the demonstrations to see how Sakya was able to accomplish this by using a series of Odoo applications. What we want to learn today in with Odoo and what we're going to look at, we're going to start a flow from sales and going for manufacturing. Going to go into our supply chain. We're going to take a look at all the quality worksheets as well and give you a holistic overview of what this potentially looks like. Now, for this, I am going to my Odoo database, which is right here. Camilo, I am going to invite you to come along with this demonstration as well. Once we go into a specific area, let's go ahead and dive in deeper to see exactly what we're seeing and how the functionalities of these specific applications help increase efficiency within the manufacturing workflow. Does that sound all right?
Yeah, sounds great.
Great. So what do we see here? We see my homepage. It has a series of all of my different applications that we're going to be looking at today. I am the administrator. I have access to all of these applications. But the first step and the first logical step is to go to my sales app, which is right here. I have my sales dashboard with any of my previous quotations. And what we're going to do right now is create a quotation on the fly. This quotation could be done anywhere. Since Odoo is on the cloud, I could do it on my smartphone, I could do it on a desktop, I can do it on a tablet. Wherever there's Wi-Fi or internet connection, I can access my database and do a quotation or create one on the fly. So here I could go
Yeah,
ahead and go ahead.
yeah, this was a huge step for them as well for Inomed because before they were used to send emails and to prepare for the different lead times in manufacturing in order to fulfill the orders. So now with the sales application, they can just register there and it's now integrated with their manufacturing process.
And you hit the nail on the head here because what we want to establish is the integration aspect of Odoo and how everything is so seamlessly integrated with one another, allowing for complete traceability from sales to delivery, right? All right, so here we have our quotation template. We want to go ahead and just have the expiration date till the end of the month. And let's go ahead and just put it to the 20th. All right, so let's go ahead and find our product. This time we are going to be selling a radius compression plate. It's just, let's just go keep it simple with one unit. It's $35. I have my taxes already included here. And I can see that I don't have this unit on hand because we're going to be making it to order. So we're going to go ahead and save this quotation. And then we're going to send it by email. There is an email template already created that gets sent out to the customer, and here it is. This could also be customized according to the any template that the vendor would like to use. We're going to send it off, and then the customer receives that quotation. As you can see, we now have a different stage on our sales process. And once we confirm, it's created a sales order as well as a delivery. This automation allows us to work quickly through the system, which means now it is time to go ahead and produce this product. But first of all, let's go to our inventory application. I'm leaving sales. We go straight into my inventory application, which is right here. And what we want to do is to have our replenishment for our product right there. It's ready to manufacture. And we're going to go ahead and order it once. Tell me a little bit about this and what are we seeing here, Camilo?
Right. So as you can see from here, they were like when they registered the sales, now it's integrated with the inventory. From there you can start planning your operations. That before for them took several spreadsheets going around and look for different finished goods and be able to allocate the resources in order to produce this material. So now from there you can just launch the manufacturing orders and see what elements, or just like a demand driven report where you can see different products that you need to produce, and it's integrated with the sales application. So it's really helped them a lot to automate the process.
Great. Um, Naturally, what we want to do is show how this all works in concert. We're going to order this once. And now from here, I am leaving the inventory application because we are going to our manufacturing app. And what we're going to do is take a look quickly at our manufacturing orders. Here is our manufacturing order. The component is not available. So for us to manufacture this, we have to go ahead and procure this. So let's go ahead and take a look at this manufacturing order. What we see here is the MO. We have this component right here, which is not available. And of course, we have all of our work orders here. So before we can start working, let's go ahead and procure this material. Here is our forecasting report, which is right here. But we can easily replenish from my manufacturing work order, or we can also go to our Odoo homepage and do an order and procure from our purchase app. So let's go ahead and do that. Here we have our purchase application with our dashboard and our menu bar, but let's go ahead and create a brand new request for a quotation. Let's find our vendor. And the product that we are going to get is going to be our titanium bar. Let's go ahead and just order 2 titanium bars. We're going to save this. And we are going to go ahead and send this request for quotation. Now, we can either send as an RFQ, or in this particular case, let's go ahead and make it a purchase order so we can speed up the process and pay right away. Let's go ahead and do that. And now we can go ahead and confirm the order. Let's also then, here's the receipt that's been automatically generated. Once we receive this, we can go ahead and create our lot and serial number. So let's go with 01112 or 2. And then we have 2 units. All right. Now, we're not done yet. So once we receive this, we want to do our quality checks, right, Camilo?
Right. This is a huge step for them. As I said before, they need to have traceability by lots and also have traceability the raw material they use in each of the manufacturing orders. So now everything is integrated, and we will be able to see a traceability report when we can complete the manufacturing order. So this is also something that they really like about the system, that they can have a traceability report and they can also pull out those records whenever they need or whenever they have a visit from the health inspection.
All right. Obviously, there not would be rock and roll, but let's go ahead and give it a pass. Everything looks good, which now means that I can validate this this product. And once we received it, we can go ahead and create our product for our customer.
Manufacturing order.
Our manufacturing order. So let's go back to our manufacturing application. And here is our manufacturing order right here. As you can see, the components that were once in red are now in green, giving me the red light to go ahead and create this product. Here we have our MO. And if we see here,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more. What else do we see here, Camilo?
Yeah. So they're basically what Odoo, what I really think invites people to simplify the process and the formats. Before, for them, they were, with spreadsheets or with different Excel formats, you can create as many fields and you can complicate as much as you want, right? But with this process, they were able to really think and simplify the way they were processing their manufacturing orders.
Mm-hmm.
So taking that logic into the system was challenging, but at the end we were able to take all these different challenges and configure the system so they can track all the manufacturing orders. So that's another thing that they like about Odoo, is like simplifying things.
Simplifying and yet still having a sophisticated tracking system and traceability, right? That's the number one key here,
Correct.
as well as the automation factor. So if we have our work orders right here lined up, let's go ahead actually
And
and
plan.
let's plan it.
So that's something interesting as well for them, because now when you hit that plan button, they can, as you can see, they can plan all the work orders and the routing that they have for the manufacturing. So from there, they can go to the planning view where they can will be able to plan different manufacturing orders, and they will be able to see what work centers are available for the manufacturing, and also this tool help them to plan and simplify the operation for their processes.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I want to highlight as well is just that the smart buttons make it so incredibly intuitive to go along the steps of my manufacturing work order. Not only was it able to let me know what the next step in my journey is, but I also can see my progress bar right here move from step to step to step, making it that much easier to understand where I am in the process as well as moving along with the workflow. So the first thing I want to do is look at the tablet feature. I love this feature, Camilo. I click on the tablet feature and it takes me straight into um, my the first plan right here, the first step to this manufacturing workflow. And what we have is the diagram of the product that's being created.
Right. And also from there, you can start register the different quality controls. So these are the quality controls that we were able to configure for them. So for every single piece they manufacture, they need to take these quality controls again because they are regulated. So they were able to input the data just right away into the system, and they just get rid of the paper and all the different spreadsheets that they were using before. So now they have data in real time and it's all integrated there.
Wonderful. I went ahead and assigned it a unit lot number. I also went ahead and measured the diameters or the dimensions of the product. And we go ahead and validate
Right.
this. All right. Here we have our second step.
Yeah, this is the 400,000 quality points they have taken so far. So the system can you can input data and the system can record all these different measures, and you will have your data in the palm of your hand.
This is great. Um, Obviously, I manufactured this through the magic of YouTube and in real time. So we're going to go ahead and give it a pass, right? Let's pass it on. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and fill in the worksheet for this, which allows us to really have that quality control oversight. This is
This one of the features that's also really cool about Odoo is that you can customize this worksheet. This is just an example of what we did during the and a customization that we did for them is also that you can customize this worksheets, and so you can do and perform any quality control that you need in your manufacturing.
now when you said customizing the worksheet, did you use code? Did you use Python to go in the back end and create this, or how did you do that?
Mostly we use Studio Odoo application.
Mm.
We didn't use any development, so we didn't develop any code. What we did is we used Odoo Studio, which is a really useful application. It's a functional application where we can use to customize different business flows and different data. There you can just plot the lot number of the
Oh,
titanium bar
there we go.
is different. Yeah.
Yes, it is. There we are.
So yeah, customizing is important as well, and we did it with the Studio app.
I think that Studio app really adds such a nice layer of flexibility when it comes to what you want to create. And it's important to use the tools that Odoo offers us so you can then save money on a lot of development that may not necessarily need to happen.
Right.
All right, so next here is our polishing part. We need to polish our product. Let's go ahead and get that over with. And we'll go ahead and polish, mark as done. And the next thing we want to do is label. So we want to label the product and get it ready to send out to our customer. All right, once we mark this to be done, we do our final quality control for everything to ensure it is of the highest quality. Go ahead and get that done, and we mark as done. Once that is done, Camilo, we are going back to our manufacturing work order, which is right here. And we can go ahead and mark it as done. Now, the moment we mark it as done, what happens? We get 3 reports that automatically get generated. Camilo, tell us about this traceability report that has been generated.
The traceability report is really important because from the reference, you can see that there are different types of lots that you were used. So from here, they were able to have the traceability, what lots, what raw materials are they using, and what is being used in the finished good.
Mm-hmm.
So from there, they have all this traceability and it's already input into the system. So with these traceability reports, they save a lot of time and because they don't have to go through all this paperwork or these different spreadsheets, they just have it right there and it's very easy and friendly to use.
And what I also like about this is that it was automatically generated. I didn't have to go fishing to get and compile the data and put it together and compile a report. This was generated automatically once I marked this project as done. Also, let's take a look at the cost analysis. Camila, tell us a little bit more about this report.
So the cost analysis basically what tells you is about what components are you using and the cost that you purchase the different raw materials. So this is real cost that the system is recording for you.
Mm-hmm.
And also the cost of operations. So in Odoo, how it works is because Odoo works in real time and all the inventory is in real time, he needs to cost right away. So all the evaluation and the inventory needs to be allocated right away. So from here, what Odoo does is we have to configure pre-calculated cost rate
Mm-hmm.
that is going to be taking place in for each of the work centers.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever we use put time and allocate time for each of the work orders like we did before, it will save us that cost and it will input that cost as a labor cost into the finished good. So this is an important report and this is also integrated with the accounting app. So whenever we finish and close the manufacturing order, the application will record all these inputs into the accounting application, and with that you can trace all your costs for the raw materials and also for the labor cost.
And I mean, that's something again that you don't see is that native level of integration, not only within the manufacturing work centers and sales, but also to accounting as well, which is very, very important. Now we're going to go out
Right.
and close our report and go back to our work order. And we are done. As you can see, all 4 steps has been completed. And we're going to go now back to our sales app and finish the sales order. Now, what we want to do right now is take a look at our delivery. We can print our picking operations, of course. We have our delivery slip that could be added to the product itself. But let's go ahead and validate this product for our customers. We have the 1 unit here. And again, we're going to do we're going to quickly sign for this product. And here it is. Boop. And done. I really like the signature aspect of it, Camilo, because it's holding people accountable to the steps that are taken within this workflow.
Correct. And also the client with this feature can really um, put his signature and let the client know or the customer that he already received all his goods and is already in place.
Exactly, exactly. And that level of communication is very much appreciated by customers, I'm sure. We are going to easily create an invoice because this smart button has let me know that that is the next step in our process. We're going to create a regular invoice. The invoice has been created right here. Once we confirm this invoice, it now then we can now register the payment. Again, these smart buttons, it makes it so intuitive for me to navigate through Odoo and know exactly what the next step should be. Once I register the payment, I know that it's going to hit my bank journal. I create the payment, and boom, it is in payment and um, has been sent to our accounting application. Fantastic. All right. So let's go ahead, Camilo, and go back to our homepage. Let's recap what we did today. In this demonstration, we really saw how these series of apps work together for this manufacturing and quality control workflow. We were able to quote a brand new customer with one of our devices. We didn't have all of the materials necessary to create it, so we went ahead and replenished that material. We procured it from our vendor. We were able to bring it into the receiving holding center or warehouse, and then we went ahead and had a multi-stage manufacturing workflow with the work order that was automatically generated once the sale was completed. We were then able to pick it, pack it, and ship it to our customer, create an invoice directly, and then also register payment straight to the bank. Does that sound about right, Camila? Is there anything that I forgot or left out?
No, everything is all in one single solution, as you can see.
Naturally, there are 10 million different idiosyncratic workflows and needs that you all may have. This was just to demonstrate a simple workflow to show how these applications work in concert with one another in such a sophisticated space as medical device manufacturing. So let's go back to our presentation to carry on with learning more um, about Sakya and about Odoo in the space. All right, let's see. Let's let this load. And what we see here, let's loading. All right, great. All right, Camila, this is our time to talk a little bit more about you and to learn more about your journey with Sakya. If you can tell us a little bit more about why Sakya should be considered as an Odoo partner for your implementations. Tell us a little bit more about your methodology approach.
Thank you, Jess. Yes, basically what we do is like we take a business and operations first approach. So we have consultants that have experience and business background. So what this means, we're really strong in functional consulting, and
Mm-hmm.
we first really understand, take the time to understand the operations and business processes. Instead of going from the technical side and developing features, we really take from the business perspective and take this first approach. And then is adapting all this knowledge and all this experience that we have is adapting Odoo out of the box functionalities and tailor them to your business needs. Basically, as I said
Mm-hmm.
before, we're very strong in functional consulting. So what we did for this client is basically taking all that knowledge and using Odoo out of the box functionality and use a little bit of Studio to customize the business processes. And believe me that Odoo has a ton of functionalities that sometimes even customers or implementators they don't really know, and they first is to develop something. No, for us is first to understand and really squeeze all those functionalities and optimize these things for the client. And the last thing is the financial accounting. We really take a deep understanding about the accounting. We take a deep understanding about how they costing the products, and taking all these configurations into Odoo, into accounting, into the manufacturing is really important for us, and making sure that all these different registers that are going from different applications to the accounting are correct and the client understands them.
You know, it's so funny you mentioned the financial accounting analysis aspect of it because, as they say, when all roads lead to Rome, in Odoo, it's all applications lead to accounting, right?
To
And
accounting.
so
That's right.
that
Yeah.
has to be absolutely perfect so everything else aligns adequately. Now let's talk about your. You mentioned Odoo Studio during the demonstration, and you also talked about functionality first. Tell us a
Right.
little bit more about that and what it means to have Odoo Studio and having it as a resource to be able to create some of the workflows and some of the wow features that you showed us today.
Yeah, basically Odoo Studio, what it helps us is to customize the business process without development. We don't need to develop code, and the also is really effective, and the time that we take to customize the ERP is really cost effective.
Mm.
We don't have to again to go to development or staging or anything of these steps. It's really functional and is really easy to use, and for the client is a huge step for them to be able to customize without development.
There's no need to reinvent the wheel. And it's so funny that you say that because I feel like many customers go in thinking, I need development, I need to do this, I need to do that. When in fact
Right.
you can leverage the Odoo Studio application to create or have the workarounds within an app already within Odoo. So you don't need to have expensive development to ensure that your workflows um, work. Instead, you can use the Odoo Studio and what tools are already offered out of the box.
Correct. Yeah.
And then finally, your phase two is Odoo Python. Tell us a little bit about that.
So basically, what we recommend to the clients is first, you need to really take the time to understand how Odoo works, take the time to operate with the software, and understand the functionalities that the software offers. And on a phase two, when you're already live and you're already using the software and you already understand, you will have more knowledge and to probably develop some additional features that you might need. It's
Mm.
not necessary that you need development. Most of the time you don't need it, but we recommend that do it in a phase two when you already are live and you already are using the software and you have some knowledge of the software. Then you have some additional tools for you to think about what functionalities you need to be added with development. So that's probably in phase two that you need to consider that.
Got it.
And that's how why we do it in our approach.
So, just to recap, your methodology is very simple, straightforward. Your business and functional consultants first, understand mission critical workflows, and then utilizing the tools out of the box to accomplish the needs that the customer has. And then, last
Correct.
resort, phase two would be Odoo Python, and kind of anything that needs special functionalities can, in fact, be developed, but as a phase two type of implementation project.
Correct.
Great.
That's right.
All right. So now that we know a little bit more about Sakya and what you're doing in the space, let's go ahead and reiterate why Odoo is the tool, not only for manufacturing, even though we're here for manufacturing, but for all industries, for many sectors. Number one, it's fully integrated, like we saw in our demonstration. It's also extremely flexible. It's flexible for the workflows that you have, the industry that you're in, and the type of business that you want to digitize. Number three, it's user friendly. I can't stress this enough. I love how easy it is to navigate through Odoo. I love the smart buttons and the action buttons that we have there, allowing me for complete visibility across not only my products but customers, as well as its reporting functionalities, and just navigating through the system is a delight. And finally, it's affordable. Now, we know how much these legacy systems can potentially cost. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars in just the software licenses and implementation. Odoo is a tool for many different budgets, and it's one of our standout features as well. Now, I do have some questions for you, Camilo. Let's go ahead and open up the floor for some questions from our audience. But first of all, I do have some personal questions I want to ask. And let's talk about what sets you apart uh, from other partners. I know that you are in Texas. There's some partners in Texas. We also have partners across North America. But what would you say sets you apart?
Basically, what we sets us apart is the business consultancy that we take, like the business background that we have and the experience we have in Odoo, and really using the functional consultants that we have and that we have done before in different projects and used in different projects. So the functional consultants are really good asset to have in a consultancy and in implementation. So, and also the financials.
Mm,
Sometimes you can you don't take a detail or you don't take the time to really configure all the different features that you need for accounting and for the accounting app. So really taking the time to understand that and to explain the client and configure it in a proper manner, so the all the business processes and all, as you say, all the transactions that come from different applications go correctly to the financial and the accounting.
and it's important to get it right the first time.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Next question. Um, let's see. What would you say are the main challenges when implementing an ERP? I'm sure you get this a lot, lots of different challenges, but what have you seen primarily when you're across your customers?
Right. This is a really, really important question, Jesse, because one of the things that sometimes is really important from the clients, not only from the partner, is the resource that they allocate to the project. Sometimes the partner can allocate the resources are there, but the client does not allocate the resources. They're different functional leaders inside the company, so that's a huge, you know, implementation drawback that could happen during the project.
Hmm.
So really, the client needs to allocate the resource there, and also is the change management. Sometimes the change management is really important. You are migrating from another software, and Odoo sometimes they have their own logic and they have the business processes, and you will have to embrace this change and also, take the time to accept the changes that come with a change in software, or to, to use to change from Excel to a software is also challenging. So change management is also really important.
Change management, I think, is one of the most difficult topics. I mean, we can spend an entire day talking about change
Right.
management and what that means and stakeholders involved, et cetera. But having that buy-in at the organizational level is important for a successful implementation.
Correct.
So I love change management. I think it's one of the most fascinating aspects when it comes to implementation, and we can maybe dedicate some time to another webinar just about
Of
change
course.
management. All
Yeah.
right, let's
That's
go ahead and
interesting.
open it up for questions from the audience. Let's see. Let me go ahead and get questions right here. All right, no questions right now, but okay. So there was a period moving average for cost valuation. Okay, great. Thank you, Ray, for being on this live chat as well and taking care of those questions. Ray Carnes is one of our top developers and consultants here. So thanks again, Ray, for being part of this live webinar. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to how can you get to know Sakya better? If you want to learn more, Camilo, I'm not going to take this away from you. Go ahead and let us know what happens if we click on this QR code.
Well, basically, it's a contact form. So if any of the viewers of the companies that are watching us right now want us to contact us, we're willing to offer a proof of concept. Sometimes the companies, they want to prove that the software works for the business processes. And the proof of concept, usually we charge the proof of concept because we need to allocate a resource and a consultant in order to understand the business and really configure the system so they can look how it will work for their business processes. So usually it's charged. So what we want to offer right now is for the three first clients that contact us on the form, we will be able to perform a proof of concept free of charge, where we will be able to meet them and to understand the business process and take this business process into the application so they can prove the software works for their business needs.
Wonderful. So it's like a baby or junior gap analysis then, right?
Right. With that, you can also explore the software and really understand the functionalities.
Awesome. I mean that's tremendous value. So invite you all if you want to learn more about Odoo and working with Sakya, fill out the contact form. But if you just want to learn about the system in greater detail, please also you can scan this QR code and get in touch with our colleague Sammy, who is here waiting to talk to all sorts of folks wanting to learn more about the software and how Odoo and Sakya can work together to take you out of the dark ages and into the 21st century, having a complete all-in-one integrated system. Wow, we have discussed a lot today. I am so thankful to have you here, Camilo. Share, I mean, albeit digitally, but we're sharing this space to talk to our customers and our greater Odoo community around the world about how manufacturing quality control can be realized through Odoo with these integrated applications. Uh, Thanks again, Camilo. I would love another collab if you're up for it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Josie, for this opportunity, for this space. I hope all the viewers like the different business flows that we went through. And yeah, hope to connect with some of you.
Absolutely. And if you did like this video, please smash that like button and tune to us again next time for another Odoo webinar. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon. Odoo it all.